everybody. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Adrienne. If you're not new here, thanks so much for clicking on another video. This is going to be part 2 in my moving diaries, and I'm going to give you guys an update on how I am feeling now that I've moved into my mom's and all of that. So let's just get into it. For those of you who are not aware, who did not see my last video, I did move 2 weeks ago now, and I moved in with my mom, and I am 29 going on 30 next year. So there's a lot of feelings that go with this move, that come with this move. Also, it was just a hard decision. Like, I went back and forth about it a lot. I had different options. I could have stayed at the apartment that I was at. I could have looked for a cheaper apartment. And this just seemed like, because everything was in a rush, like, I don't know if you guys have rented, but it's always like a rushed process. Like, you have to, I don't know, they're always like, this is gonna go quickly, and it just, I don't know, I just couldn't deal with the pressure, and so I decided to move in with my mom for a few months. This is temporary, but it's really gonna help me get ahead on my finances, which I'm really looking forward to, already starting to. It's been great. Since I work a full-time job and I make a good income, I am just like getting to put away a lot of the money that I'm earning instead of having to fork it out to rent every single month right now. So anyways, let's get to the updates. So I've been here for 2 weeks now, and I'd say that the first week was really rough. And this had more to do with what was going on in my life outside of just living here, on top of moving in here. Like, trying to adjust to moving in here, but then also having like crazy busyness going on in my life outside of moving. So I was like extremely overwhelmed last week. I took a few clips and I just was like, I'm gonna be raw and open with them. Just broke down crying. I don't know, I'm gonna get on and talk about all of this later, but overwhelmed with a lot of emotion. Like, I feel like I'm feeling 20 different emotions at once, and some of it is feeling excited, but a lot of what I'm feeling right now is kind of giving up living alone and different things. So yeah, just documenting the realness, and I look a freaking mess. I look like this room. I was crying. I also, it was my time of the month, which hit, you know, perfectly. Like, of course that would all happen at once. And so I was just like super emotional. I would have been emotional anyways, but like double emotional because I had so much going on, and then it was my time of the month. So I think that that contributed to it a lot. But first week was rough. I would say that my overall experience right now, my biggest 2 words I would have to use to describe this, I was thinking of this earlier because I just keep using them when people are asking me like, how's it going, are adaptation and adjustment. And it's a lot of that, adjusting and adapting. My mom is supportive enough and loving enough to take me in, and so I don't want, the biggest thing for me is I don't want her to feel like she has to take care of me, you know, like as a motherly, her motherly instinct is going to be to take care of me, but I let her know up front, like, hey, if you need help with the dishwasher or taking out the trash or like the, you know, everyday household chores, cleaning, whatever, like, let me know. I want to help you. Like, I don't want you to think or feel like you're housing me and that you have to take care of me. Like, even though I'm your daughter, I'm an adult, and I'm used to living by myself and taking care of my own space, so let me help you. But it's been really nice because she's in her own groove of like doing that stuff anyways, so I'm not having to do it as much. And that just goes with living with somebody else. It's like you split the chores. And so I've already noticed like my days, I have more time because I'm not having to like unload the dishwasher every other day and all of that stuff. So that's been a good adjustment. The other adjustment I would say is the biggest, and the thing that I'm having to adapt to the most, is this is not my space. Like, I'm just living in her space. The room that I'm in right now, I can show you guys an overview, but this is her guest bedroom, and so I've moved all my stuff in here, but like, it's her paintings on the walls, it's her decorations, and so, and I'm not gonna change any of that because it's hers. And so I've tried to, you know, I've had to move my stuff in and just adjust and make it a space where I feel comfortable in. But like, for example, she had a reading lamp in here and it was like a really harsh light, and so whenever I turned it on, it was like that is not comforting for nighttime or morning time. And so I went to Home Goods and I picked out a new lamp to make it a little bit more cozy in here. And so that's been a big thing, is like adjusting to moving into her space. Like it's not my space. Yes, I have my room, but like it's still not my room, if that makes sense. Another big adjustment is the space in here. Trying to make space for my stuff has been difficult, and we've really worked together to like give me enough space in this room. But like, for example, I don't even have a dresser in here, so I put a lot of my clothes in storage. But of course I'm here in like the winter and fall months, so I've brought my heavier clothes and my coats and like things like that. And so just trying to adjust and like downsize and fit into a smaller space and create space has been a big adjustment. But beyond just that stuff, I would say the other biggest adjustment is living with somebody else. And I had a hard time with this, and that was one of the things I was probably the most upset and emotional about when I was moving out, was that I was no longer going to be living by myself. If you watched my last video, you'll see that when I chatted with you guys at the end of it, that I talked about how when I moved into that apartment, I was not ready to live on my own again. Like I was, that was not the next step in my life that I thought was going to happen. And so when that happened, I wasn't prepared. But then obviously I was living alone again for 2 years, and I got adjusted to it. And loved it, and I love living by myself. And so moving in and living with somebody else is just a huge adjustment on its own, without any of the other factors. And so just like sharing bathroom time or sharing the kitchen, or, you know, I'm not a morning person. Like I do not like to be talked to in the morning. Like until I've done my morning routine and had my coffee and living alone, that's fine. But sometimes I walk downstairs and my mom wants to talk to me right away because she is a morning person, and so I can't be rude. And so just like just living with somebody else, just getting used to that again. But yeah, those I would say are the biggest adjustments I've had to deal with. I'm finally, like this week, this is start of week 2, finally settled in. Most of my stuff is put away. I've found a space for it, and so now I can kind of get back to just like living my life. Because the first week was all about like putting stuff away and finding space for it, and that was kind of stressful, if I'm gonna be honest. But there are also really, really good things about living with my mom. And a lot of you, by the way, I shared this on my Instagram. If you're not following me, feel free to do so. But everyone was so supportive on there. I honestly, when I shared this, I thought I was a little bit scared. It was vulnerable, and I thought I might get judged for it. But everyone was so supportive, and one of the biggest things people said was like, you're gonna look back and really appreciate this time that you have with your mom. And I totally agree, and I've been taking that to heart. So that's one of like the best things that's been happening for me, is just getting this time with her. Like on last night, we had dinner together. It was Sunday night, and Friday I got to hang out. My nephew came over, and so all 3 of us got to hang out. And just like, even though I said I'm not a morning person, like walking downstairs every morning and my mom like saying good morning, and like, or having like a good night hug before we go to bed every night. It's just like, I know that like one day I'm gonna look back and be really, really grateful for this. And so I'm just like soaking it all in and trying to be present with it and really appreciate these moments that I get with her. So yeah, and again, I'm just like so grateful for, this is gonna like just push me so far ahead with my finances, I can't even tell you. And I'm really grateful that I have this opportunity to take advantage of that. So yeah, that's what's been going on. That's how I'm feeling. So yeah, I think over these next few months, I'll have more and more to share with you guys on how I'm feeling and how things are going. But for now, that's where I'm at. Like I said, first week was freaking tough. Second week is a lot better. And yeah, just starting to get in the swing of things, and also starting to pick up like a new routine, because that's the other thing too, is, you know, when you live alone, you do your routine based off yourself. But I have to kind of base my routine off of her a little bit too. Not so much. We actually, that's another really beneficial thing, is like we go to bed and wake up nearly around the same, like pretty much the same time. But like that can, you know, mess up bathroom time. So I've just had to really adjust and adapt, and that's all it is. I feel like I journaled about it, and I feel like this is like a microcosm for life, meaning like I feel like what I'm experiencing by moving in with my mom is kind of like what we experience in life. Like when you go through a big change or a transition, you really just have to learn to adapt and adjust. And the more that you can accept the change and, you know, take that adjustment and adaptation with grace and patience, the more likely you are to find gratitude and be happy in that change. And so that's how I've been looking at all of this. And overall, I'm just super grateful. I'm feeling good, and that's where I'm at. So that is it for this video. I think that's all I have to say. Those are all my updates and how I'm feeling. And yeah, thank you guys all for your support, for watching along. I appreciate you all, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye.